Waffles family from the future here. We have a small request of you guys if you don't mind indulging us for a moment.
Waffles RC family, you were so supportive with some of the other events that Mr. Waffles RC announced earlier this year. We have another group that we hang out with, belong to, with the big truck, and they are having a toy drive. So there's a toy drive happening tomorrow. It's at one of the Sacramento Toyota dealerships. Meta Toyota, I think is what it's called. We'll put the information up so that we have the address, but it's from it's from 10 to 2, Saturday the 14th, so tomorrow. It's put on with conjunction of lady-owned Toyotas and the SAC Forerunner Club. And there's going to be a raffle, a food truck, there will be vendors there, there's a rig decorating contest, but it's all for a toy drive and to collect toys for the littles. So if you are in the area and you're interested, 10 to 2 will be at the Meta Toyota dealership. It's 2500 Auburn Boulevard in Sacramento. And again, we'll put the details up, but we hope to see some of you there. It'd be great to see you, and we would appreciate the support for the toy drive.
Even if you don't have a Toyota, still come.
Yes.
It's a toy drive. That's the main goal of it. It's just being put on at a Toyota dealership by a Toyota owners group.
Yes.
So bring a Chevy. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Bring toys.
Toys is the important part. We need all the toys.
And we know all about toys.
Bring the toys.
Bring the toys.
Okay, take 2. The toys have to be unwrapped toys, like any other toy drive.
So no hippie hop. Unwrapped.
Unwrapped toys.
Country is okay.
Happy holidays.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Waffles RC. That was a lot of painting. And it's not perfect. But I told you guys in the last video, I'm not good at painting. So there's a lot of overspray. There are imperfections. And I'm going to show you every single one of them as I find them, of course, because I keep finding more. But the end product so far has been the best paint job I've ever done, even with all the mistakes that I made. So let me show you what it all looks like so far. Okay, well that was fun for cinematic reasons. This is what I went with. So I chose to do it, the color scheme with the green fenders and the green roof on this and the sleeper, because I looked online and what this is roughly based off of is the Kenworth C500, and this is how they do their paint schemes, or at least my variation of it. I think it looks really good. I'm glad I did the fenders green, just to give a little bit more green color in there. And I will say, on the camera, as per usual, this paint job looks really, really good. But like I said, I will show you the imperfections. There's my fingerprint, because I was impatient on taking off the tape. I missed a little bit there. That's not shadow, that's just completely not there. Lots of overspray. Not overly concerned with it, just because most, like this area will all be covered, in there will all be covered. Back here, there was no overspray, thankfully. Gas tanks actually came out pretty dang good. Also got the little air tanks on both sides. That was fun. And you can see right there, there's the overspray. So, may have some touch-ups to do. Oh, got a lot of overspray right there. Yeah. Then here on the cab, that's from where it fell in the plant, but the headache rack there is going to cover that, so I did absolutely nothing to it. The stacks came out really good. I'm super happy. That chrome paint is good as long as you know how to lay it down, which I didn't, but I figured it out halfway through. There's scratches and scuff marks and chip paint, you know. But these things are going to happen when you use spray paint and you're not very good at paint. So that's why I'm showing you guys. I'm not perfect, and this channel is not about perfection. It's doing your best and living up to it. Now let's look at the one that I really messed up on. Okay, so here we have the Zac lift. One bit of overspray. And then I didn't lay the paint down thick enough on here. So, you know, there's that. But then the absolute worst. I really didn't lay the paint down thick enough on that. And I used the wrong tape. So, because that's not bare metal, that's the primer that's underneath it. So I either didn't let it dry long enough, which is weird because I let it dry for 3 days before I did any of this. Did that accent stripe down the sides, carried it to the back just to bring a little more green. Now the boom, however, came out absolutely excellent. So with that in there, we'll have a good pop of green. Pop of green, and I think it's gonna look quite nice. Now this I'm gonna have to repaint, at least the black part, so I gotta, you know, tape everything off again and try painting it again, clean it all off, and then not touch it. That's gonna be the #1 rule that I have learned. Well, since the paint is dry enough, I'm gonna put the wheels back on this thing. So I'm gonna flip it over, try and get all the suspension and everything back on it, and I'll bring you back once I have all the axles back on the truck. And then I gotta tape off the Zac lift and paint that. And then once I get the wheels on this thing and it's more movable, I'm gonna get started back on that trailer. Is there anything that you want to say during this? All right.
The former is mine.
As you can see, I totally glossed over the fact that I was wearing the Waffles RC hat, and you can see I made one for Mrs. Waffles here as well. These are just test subjects. This one's a flex fit, hers is a trucker style cap. So I'm just testing them out. I wanted good quality so that you guys actually got something that is good quality. Covers up the bald spots, you know. But anyhow, we will definitely be doing hats. I'm going to be working on doing some stickers and patches and whatever else she can think of for me to do. The shirts and sweater that I got, I didn't really like the quality. The font wasn't right, so those will come eventually. But for now, hats, stickers, patches, we'll get on that as soon as we possibly can, so that way you guys can help out the channel further and actually get something out of it other than me making weird videos of setting myself on fire. Forerunner's hers. Alright guys, I got 2 axles in. I have the third one, the tag axle. I forgot to paint it, and I just realized now you can't see it, but it's right there. But I got all the axles in, drive shafts, transfer cases. Don't have the motor or transmission in it yet. Got the headache rack on. Loving that I did the black inside and then chrome everywhere else. I feel like it's accented pretty nicely. And now having the trailer on it and everything all together, I think I'm going to do the trailer green, the same green as the top of the truck, just because the deck where the tires are going to go is going to be skateboard tape, so that'll be mostly black, but then all the bar work and everything will be green. So I think that'll look really good. Maybe try and get some chrome in there too, because, well, chrome will get you home. Now that we have all this done, I do still have to align it because nothing is aligned. I just put it all on, so I got to align the rear axles. The front axle is all over the place. But instead of doing that and boring you guys, and I can do that off camera, let's start wiring up some lights, because why not? All right, so we're going to start with the sleeper. As you see, I have the sound box in there, got the wires out, got these LED strips that normally adhere onto the back, also normally come this long. But now if I can get it to focus, possibly, those brown pieces right there, those brown pieces, you're able to cut. It has a little picture of scissors, so you can cut that as long as it still has, you know, the wires that feed it. Sorry about this thing moving around. I can't really control that when both my hands are right here. So all I did was took this piece and cut it to the length I needed for the holes that I drilled, except I drilled all the way over here on the outside and it looks good. Except for my bracing and welding, I can't get the light through that one. So we're just going to have an extra hole for fun. Hopefully this will work. So I got some extreme glue that I'm going to dab along in here, hopefully, in between all the lights, not make a gigantic mess or glue myself to something else. Now, I don't know if this is going to work. Really hope that it does. So I'm going to let that tack up for a minute. Yep, I'm gluing myself to myself. So the hope is that with this protective cover on it, that I can just press this on, put some tape on it, so that way it'll hold it, and then I can eventually take the tape off, and it'll be good. I drilled the holes exactly where the LEDs are, so that way hopefully the lights will just come right through. We're gonna let this dry up for a minute, put it on. I'll do the other one, and we'll move on to the next stage of lights on the whole truck. So I have the tape on there, holding the light strips in with the glue to set. So hopefully those stay. We'll certainly find out in a few hours. Or less when the tape comes off. But back to the truck. Got the tag axle back on. Sleeper is obviously down there. So now I'm going to start putting the lights on this thing. So the lights that are going on this, obviously the top one with our flashies and our headlights. That's all I have for right now, but I'm not scared to drill into this thing since I've already messed up the paint. Might as well mess it up some more. This goes up here. These go on the front. Bring you back in just a second when I have these all on there. Alright guys, I have my servo tester here to test out the headlights. Maybe. There we go. And if I do that, they flash. Then we can just turn them off. Slightly annoying doing it with the servo tester, but I don't feel like hooking up the entire truck. And here's this cheapo thing. It's definitely not as bright as I thought it would be, but what do you expect for $10 on Amazon? We got flashing lights all over the place. So to control the headlights, I just got one of these junction blocks that has a bunch of outputs with a channel 3 output, so I can control it through the remote to turn the lights on and off. The light bar up on the top will have to be up on its own switch as well, because it doesn't like working on that thing for some reason. Or it could just be my little servo tester that's not doing what it's supposed to do. And here are the rear lights. Just standard 2 on each side, 4 lights. Ran the wires all along the frame, all the way up to the junction block, where I still have a lot more spaces, so I can put more lights on it if I want. So close that. There we go. And they flash just like the fronts do. So between those, and that, everyone's going to see this thing. And the ones that'll be on the sleeper, which are missing right now. Alright guys, I don't think you're ready for this, because I wasn't when I turned it on. Look at this. So I was hoping that it would work. Didn't think it would work this well. I mean, come on. All I did was drill holes and then glued that stuff. You saw what I did. And since I have it on that same junction block, they flashed with the rest of the truck. Oh, I want to drill more holes now. I shouldn't have painted this thing yet. I want lights everywhere. And I know it looks a little naked up here because I don't have the visor. Don't worry, that was just a gas bottle that fell over. You know, so if there's a big fire, send help. I don't have the visor. It's drying out back in the paint booth. Let's go see if it's dry actually. Alright, so it's not entirely dry, but I did it chrome. Oh, that's gonna look so good. Especially once I get the lights in there too. Oh, I can't wait for this thing. Every so often I get comments about people being new to the RC world. And one thing that I don't see a lot of on YouTube, at least, or a lot of instructions for people, are how to wire up lights or just wire these things up in general. Today we're just going to focus on the lights because obviously I have lots of lights. So I showed you earlier this junction block. That's one way of getting a bunch of lights to work. When it says channel 3, it just means that it can be used on any of your open auxiliary channels on your remote to be able to turn the lights on and off. I have that on a few of them. This one is a big junction block for a lot of lights to be used on one switch. Other ways of doing it are you can get these splitters right here. This was a 3-to-1. Does the same thing. It goes into one of your open auxiliary switches. Plug it in. Most of the lights only come with a positive and negative. Put the plug in to where the red and black wire match up to the red and black wire. So you can control it through that. Actually, you can't with just this. Yeah, because this will just have them on all the time. So I apologize, I'm wrong. In conjunction with this, you need to have a switch. And all this is, same thing, plugs into one of your open auxiliary switches. Has this little printed circuit board right here. Basically, it is just a switch that goes on and off. And it comes, this one at least, comes with 2 plugs that are just positive and negative, just for lights. So if you're looking to wire up 4 lights, these are a few ways. I'll put links down in the description for the switch, these 3-to-1, or they have a kit that has like whole bunch of them. It all depends on how many lights you want to run. That's why I went with the big junction block on this thing, is so I can control all the running lights, headlights, the tail lights, all of that just on one switch. And it'll be the same with the lights in the visor, which is going to be bad continuity when it comes to the timeline because it needs time to dry, so I can't touch it like I already did. So I have to wait till tomorrow to glue the lights onto that and then wire it into this block as well. But I will put links to all this stuff down in the description, and I hope it helps, because when it comes to RC stuff, there's a lot of how-to videos, but not a lot of like instruction or help on how to get these things to actually function properly. So I hope that helped. I know wiring scares a lot of people. It's really not as bad as you think it is. It seems scary, but I guess I'm a different breed of person then, because I love doing electrical. Like, I've done all the lights on all our trucks. You should have seen one of my other trucks. I had lights all over it. I'll actually put a picture of it right there so you can see I like doing lights and I like doing electrical. But when I was getting into RC, there wasn't a lot of help that I could find on how to do all this stuff correctly without blowing up lights or diodes or whatever. But I hope that helps. We're going to cut to a scene right now of me putting the lights on the visor, and then we'll go to the outro. Alright guys, I tried ruining the continuity of the timeline of the video, but I failed because chrome paint is very hard to work with. Now all of this stuff came out absolutely great. However, the visor does not look all that great. Actually, it just magically cured itself somehow. Either way, that's painted. I put lights in it, I ruined it, I repainted it. So, yeah, live and learn. I guess the moral of the story is, don't give up, because stuff will magically fix itself, apparently. I hate paint. Alright guys, ignore that light, but here's all the lights so far on the semi. Got it all back together. Still have to save up and buy another motor because I fried that one. It is getting really close to being fully complete. Now I know I also said that I was going to get the trailer done, but I only had one day this weekend to work on this thing, so I'm happy with the progress that has been made so far. So thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. We're just going to keep going on this thing. I know it's been a long time and it's a very long series. Trust me, I want this thing done. But a build like this is very complicated, especially I still have to finish the Zack lift. I got to finish the trailer. I got a lot of work that I still have to do. But as for this thing, it is turning out absolutely incredible. I am stoked with these, by the way. Can't wait to do the visor. Oh wait, no, you should have seen that I already did the visor. Bad continuity, you know. But anyhow, thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you next week when I figure out what else I'm gonna do. Don't know whether to party or be scared that there's an emergency. It really hurts my eyes.